So in this video, I'm going to show you how to laser etch lenses. Just got to set up our 3-inch LED projector lenses here. I have some vinyl, like you would do for normal etching. Color does not matter. This is just some junk material I got on a little sample pack years ago, and I've just been working through it all. So I've just applied the vinyl to the lenses. The next step, I'm going to go ahead and cut the excess around the sides so I can get a better view. So now I have both lenses with the vinyl attached to the back. And now we're going to go over to the laser cutter and place it inside. So this is my BMO, which is the main laser that I use currently. It normally has a little grate in it like this. I pull that out so you have a little bit of clearance, and then I put this kind of like a foam that I cut holes in for lenses, so that way they don't move on me and I can get a position. So I'll go ahead and position them. Now these lenses are directional, so I want to make sure I get them lined up right. So definitely make sure whatever lenses you're using, in the event that they are directional, you know what is up and what is down. I will set my depth. Alright, so depth is set. Lenses are straight. Now we will go over to the computer and program in the pattern. So this is our BMO program. Obviously your laser may vary depending on what kind of laser you're doing. The process should be similar. The important parts are to get your power and your speed settings correctly. On my BMO, I do it at 25 power at a 630 speed and 3 passes. Now this can also vary by the lenses that you're using. I mean, ballpark, this should get you there if you're using the same machine. But you can start a little bit lower, see how it goes, turn it up, especially if you use the same kind of lens all the time. This will, generally once you get it dialed in, you should be good to go. Load up your file. And when I load it in, I want the laser to remove the image, so I'm going to do color instead of like single layer or layer, and that will do a full-size image. There we go. And then I'm just going to shrink that down to the point where it fits. I've got to remove my old one here. I've got some from my last etching. So you just kind of resize it to the point that it kind of fits your lenses. And actually in this case I haven't scanned it yet. So I'll go over here where I scan your preview. Obviously all of this is going to vary based on the laser that you're using. In my case, using a BMO, this is how it images the location. If you do not have a camera on your laser cutter, I don't know that you want to try etching lenses. It might not end up very straight, just because it's kind of hard to line everything up without the help of a camera. So just definitely something to keep in mind depending on what you're using. Alright, so we have now gotten our image of what's on the board. Alright, so I'm going to run that at about 23 power, 630 speed, 3 execute. And I knocked that power down just a little bit just to be extra safe. The big thing is that you do not want to crack the glass with the laser, which is very easy to do if you have too much power. So that's why I've dropped that down. So now we've got that lined up. I'll hit go, and then I'll just hit start. So now the lenses are done in the laser cutter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off the back side with just some basic blue painter's tape is what I use. So there they are. I got painter's tape on the back. I'm going to take these into the blast cabinet, hit them with abrasive. I use a aluminum oxide, something like a 240 grit, and I'm using a somewhat of a high flow gun from Pash. I think it's like Pash or something like that. And it makes it really quick, really effective. Does a pretty good job pretty quick. So I'm going to take that over there now. So this is the gun I use. It does flow a lot of material pretty quick. The nice thing is it doesn't clog, so I can just reuse all the stuff that drops down in the bottom. I put them in these little containers, poke a little hole in the side, fill it right up, hit it, reuse it as many times as I need to, no issues. I used to use some of the smaller guns, like these and these. But they clog up real easy. They're a lot slower. Just doesn't work quite as well. So I'll put them in there. Close up the cabinet. And then it's pretty simple. Rotate the lens a little bit like that. Grab the next one. And you just kind of inspect it, make sure that you didn't miss any, and we'll take it over to the table. So now we're back over here, gloves on again, since we're going to start getting them opened up. I'm going to pull off the back tape first. This is a good way to kind of inspect it even more so, just to make sure you didn't miss any areas, because you can still go back at this point and touch up if you need to. But I'll look over it. It looks pretty uniform, so I can tell. Even hold it up to the light if you need to. One nice thing about the laser is that it does make it much more three-dimensional. So I'm sure one of the questions people ask, if you're going to hit it with the abrasive, why bother with the laser? Well, there's two benefits. So one, typically you would use a vinyl cutter, cut your sticker, weed it, and then put it on your lens and then etch it. As many people know, weeding can be a little bit tedious, and as well, the vinyl cutters can only ever get so high of a definition. It depends which one you're using. Some are better than others, but in general, it can only cut so well. With the laser, it removes material from the vinyl. So the benefit to that is that it can get much more precise. There's no weeding necessary, and it digs into the glass a little bit, so it creates a little bit more of a three-dimensional look to it. It's a very different look than what you normally get. Now the downside is that the laser does not mark the surface of the glass as well as abrasive does. That's why we use both together, because we get the benefits of the laser, much more definition. This is a very simple etch, but we can do stuff that is much more defined, more detailed with the laser than we ever could with the vinyl. But we're also get that benefit of the deeper cut you're never going to get with a abrasive. So we get that benefit where it will dig down into the glass a little bit. It's not much, but it's enough that it looks really good with the lens. And then we hit it with the abrasive on the back, and that brings the just a higher contrast to the actual etch, so it makes it pop. Either two by themselves does not get the same results. But I'm going to go ahead and remove all of the vinyl, and then I'm going to wash them up with microfiber and some alcohol, and then get you guys a look at what it looks like when it's finished. So here they are, reassembled. I got them back in our projectors. These are the 3-inch projectors, the 3-inch bi-LED projectors that we saw on the website. The output is really good, definitely worth checking out if you want to try to get something that's a smaller package. Really nice thing about the backside, you can just remove these 4 screws and the entire threaded shaft comes right off, and you can do a nut and bolt mount style, or you can leave it on and do the threaded shaft. There are no drivers. Everything is included inside. All the electronics, fans, everything that it needs. And the output is quite good on these. So definitely worth checking out. Got them on the website. These are the 3-inch. I need to update the photos because we switched from another 3-inch to these. Same price. We just phased out the old ones and now we're on to the new ones. But depending on when you watch this video, this photo will be updated at some point. But these are the current 3-inch that we sell. Anyways, back to the etching. So as you can see, it's got a great deal of definition to it. And obviously this looks way better in person than I could ever get on a camera. But it just pops, and that's why we started using a laser. I think originally it kind of started with experimentation because of some more high definition etchings that customers wanted, and trying to find a way that we could possibly make that. Had to burn quite a few lenses to figure out what did not work, at least. But we got a basic process down now, and it works really well. We can get really good definition. While this is a honeycomb, it's a little bit more of a difficult honeycomb because you do have that space in between each of the honeycombs, which can actually be a little bit difficult to work with. But you could see how the laser didn't really struggle with that. It was able to keep the ridge, keep the vinyl on there, and we were able to go back, hit it with the abrasive. It did not remove, it did not lift. Until we were done, and we removed everything. So it works really quite well for definition. Obviously there is the added expense of a laser. It's already somewhat expensive just to start out with, a blast cabinet, an eraser, and a vinyl cutter to begin with, a couple $100 right there. But the addition of a laser, in the case of the BMO, I think they're over $2,000 now. There are other lasers out there like the Tech. Keep in mind, whatever laser you get, you're going to want it to have a camera so that you can properly place your laser on your cut screen. Because otherwise, it's going to be really hard to get that laser to hit directly where you want it on the lens. If you imagine if this was just a centered image instead of a full-faced honeycomb, they're a lot less forgiving. If you're off by even 1 or 2 millimeters to one side, up, down, left, right, it will not look right. So without that camera, it's going to be almost, I would think, impossible to attempt to get that centered properly on the laser. So definitely keep that in mind if you go with something like the Tech. I do know I've heard some people that get the Techs and do some upgrades to them where they can add cameras and things like that, so that's something worth looking into. I really do enjoy the BMO. It has worked quite well for us. We've used it a heck of a lot, and so if you are looking for something a little bit more expensive, the BMO is definitely one to look at. The Beambox, obviously a larger version, a lot more money, but if you can go that route, that's also a good one to look at. But hopefully this video helps out, gives you an idea of, well, at least the process that we go about with laser engraving, laser etching our lenses, and puts a little bit more insight onto it. It's not just as simple as laser etching. There is a little bit more to it. But the outcome, I think it's worth it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and follow so that you don't miss any more videos. We got definitely a lot more videos like this planned as we move through different builds and different projects. I'll try to do videos at different points when it seems beneficial to you guys. So, you know, if there's videos that you guys want to see, let me know. If it's something we can do, I would definitely love to try to do it. Comments, anything that you're looking for, just let me know. Thanks again, and stay tuned for the next video.